And we're back with the Vacuous perspective. Got any dance moves? I'm putting you on the spot. Got a jig for us?
Give me a second.
Yeah, can we get a jig?
It's this one. Yes.
Here we go.
You bow. Happy fucking birthday.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. One more.
I won't say the exact day. It was recently.
It was
very recently. I'm just partying.
Jesus, is that a new move?
Living it up. Yeah, that's a new one I downloaded.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I didn't even have to learn that. I just literally clicked the button.
I know. We went through this. It's just instant.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, how you feeling? Are you feeling older?
No.
You're not.
No.
You should feel at least a couple of days older. At least a week older.
A couple of days older. That's right. And I was thinking, because you know how people say, yeah, one more trip around the sun. You know, people do that.
Yeah, they certainly do it.
There was a point in time where people would have said that. What would they have said?
One more sun revolving around the earth.
Yeah. Or everything. How does that work?
Doesn't really, does it?
No. No, I had a good birthday week. Had my brothers in town. It was great. We went and saw Louis C.K. on Thursday night. You were there.
Mm-hmm.
And at Perth Arena. It was good.
It was good. I thought it was
great.
great. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. Very dark.
Yep.
Very enjoyable.
And all new. Like, I'd never heard any of that before.
No, none of it.
And that's one of his things he's got to do, right? He's got to ditch the book every few years.
You got to. When you're at the top end like that.
He does.
But there was some similar themes that I think he touches on. Abortion. Yeah. I don't think I'm giving any spoilers. Rape.
Yeah, that comes up.
Incest.
All the bad stuff. Yeah, all the bad stuff.
All the big ones. The Holocaust.
Yeah.
Slavery. He touches. He just. It's a real fruit salad of horrible events.
But
horrible things.
That's what he's there for. That's what he's there to do, right?
I'm not saying it was bad. I was saying I loved it. He didn't play it safe at all.
The show itself was good. We had a few wankers behind us, didn't we?
Oh, did we? I didn't notice them.
Come on, man.
Well, I literally heard them talking once or twice, but like, what were they on about?
Come on, man.
No, I did. You were.
I was expecting full support on this.
I actually had no idea. What do you
crazy.
explain
you
it in full?
As far away from
I was
me
right
as
on the
possible.
end. I was right on the end. You were 4 people away from me.
The other people. Yeah. Okay. So there was 2 guys just talking behind us, either quipping or trying to add to a joke or saying a joke was shit or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like there was at least 4 of us in the group who wanted to turn around and say something, and probably would have, right? But we didn't. And
I can't
I
believe
just
they
know
were,
that if
they
I
were
turn
talking,
around,
you shut your mouth, right, in these situations.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no room for bants because he's miles away. It's a big, there's a lot of people there. It's not a small intimate show. Otherwise, he would have said, "Why the fuck are you guys talking?" So they did it because they could get away with it. Now, if we did turn around to say something to them, we would have just seen some, dickhead early 20-year-olds having a bit of a laugh, right? At the expense of other people, but they probably don't realize how much of a dick they were, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was a dick once, or still probably
we've all been dicks, yeah. I'm still proportionally a dick, yes.
Yeah, so I
think my arm's still a dick. Like, there's still a bit of me that is a phallus.
Just like your arm?
Just my arm, just a little bit.
Oh, that's good. At least it's not part of your sort of overall psyche. That's sort of
that's true. That's true. So I'm surprised one of our friends didn't actually say something. It's not really in your nature to maybe say something. I'm surprised one of our other friends did not say something. I did hear their voices once or twice, but I couldn't even make out what they were saying. So
there was at least 10 to 12 occurrences of them yammering on during the show. Some were extended yammering, some were just minor comments. But my problem is that someone could say, look, just focus on the show. You're here to see the show. Focus on the show. But I can't do that. I have to know what these idiots behind me are saying.
Oh, so you're focusing, you're listening in.
Exactly. So if they're like, shut the fuck up, man, we're just trying to we watch the show, you watch the show. I would have to explain to them the inner workings of my brain to say, look, bro, I'd love to enjoy the show, but you're ruining it for me. Anyway, you're right. I'm surprised one of our friends didn't do it. I'm surprised either of my brothers didn't do it. Pick one.
Yeah, yeah.
Just pick one.
Mm.
Anyway. Didn't ruin the
Other
night.
than
Didn't
that,
ruin
yeah.
the
Other than
show.
that,
Great show.
sorry for not seeing you afterwards.
No, that's okay. Yeah,
I'd head off. I lost you guys. I was stuck with Elle and we were just cruising around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I head off. But no, I really liked it. It was well worth the cash.
Absolutely. And yeah, he doesn't come around all that often. Haven't seen him in a while.
No.
So, or ever.
I've done a little bit of homework this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wait, was this homework prescribed?
Prescribed homework by yours truly.
Yeah.
Wait, is yours truly me or you? I mean,
that's you.
Me. Okay. You then. I was thinking of a fancy way of saying that. By you truly. It was The Man from Earth.
Oh, you watched it.
You asked me to watch a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple questions for you just off the bat.
Whoa, let's not ask questions. How about you with
no, these are questions about you.
Do a spoiler free.
Yes.
Just give us the rundown of what you thought the movie was. Spoiler free. Let's start with that.
Spoiler free. Well, this is not a spoiler. Now, you said to me,
yes,
that you were dragged to watch this kicking and screaming or something like that.
No. I was subjected to it.
Subjected to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Who subjected you to this?
My older brother, who was staying with me at the time, subjected me to it against my will.
And why did he want to watch that? Because I didn't mind it, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. It had one bit of a curly part in there that was enjoyable. But the whole thing occurs in one room. It's very
yes.
Tarantino in that respect.
Yeah, or teleplay or low budge.
Very low budget, very poor acting.
Yeah.
Like one of probably some of the poorest acting I've ever seen.
I found the poor acting to be charming and I quite enjoyed it.
And okay, poor acting. Obviously, you could actually do that movie for $150.
We need to explain the movie a bit though. So,
but okay, so it's a bloke who he gets his mates together. He's having a bit of a going away party. He goes to a cabin in the woods, and he says to him, "There's about 6 of them there." He says, "Oh look, I've never, having a great time." And they said, "Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving us? This is crazy. He's a professor or something." Very inquisitive. Why. And for some reason, he says, "Look, I've never told anyone this, but I have been living for 14,000 years. Mm-hmm. I'm a Cro-Magnon," I think he said. Yeah. Is that an early form of human?
Yeah, it's a distinction between like the early forms of Homo sapien in Africa and the early exact same DNA. It's just European.
Okay. I've heard that term before.
The professors are all like of disciplines relevant to what he's talking about. There's an anthropologist, there's a biologist, there's a
psychiatrist,
there's a psychiatrist, there's a doctor, all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of people who should be able to just shoot him down when he starts talking smack about living for 14,000 years.
I love the concept. I like the idea of it. I kind of like where it goes. I don't think it fully executes. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun thing to sort of grapple with, but I think it could be done a lot better. Like if they did a remake.
Well, when do you think that was shot? Curious to know when you actually think it was shot.
I'm not good with this, but I'll have to answer the question one way or another.
Just have a stab.
96.
What if I told you it was 2007?
Okay.
Would that surprise you a bit?
You know what? I should have known that because when I got it off Pirate Bay, it has the year in it. Now that you say it, I do remember it being in the title.
It's on.
How'd you watch it?
Well, it was on one of the streaming services.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brody sorted it out. It's all good. Yeah. So it's 2007 that was made. Now, I found the movie to be very similar to you. I found it boring, yet fascinating. And the single scene thing is something that sort of sneaks up on you the whole fact that it's set in this log cabin, it does sneak up on you because
My girlfriend called it about 15 minutes in. She goes, "I reckon this could be a movie where it's all in the one thing." I was like,
wow, I'm
and she fell
impressed.
asleep about halfway through.
It
She missed the curly part.
it snuck up on me because I got 35 minutes in and they were still
Yeah.
in the cabin
Yeah, you thought they were going to
discussing
transition somewhere else. Yeah.
philosophy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and no, it wasn't.
It's it's interesting because he doesn't remember. They ask him a lot of questions about where did you grow up, who's your father, where have you been, things like that. And it's hard because he didn't. We have a lot of information right now where we have world maps, where we're looking at this from a high information. You know, we're inundated with all the information we could want with the internet and things. Could you
Yep.
imagine just figuring out? Because he can only know as much as anyone else knows, and having said that, you can't connect to the knowledge. So what I'm saying with the internet, one person figures something out in China
Mm.
that can get sort of reported on and published and whatnot, and figured out by someone else in the US. And you can sort of all follow things quite quickly. Like someone can tweet something, we've figured out we've split the atom, this is how you do it or whatever, and then like
Yeah,
everyone knows
split
it.
the atom at home, kind of
Split the atom
thing.
at home, yeah, home
Yeah.
kit,
Yeah.
home split the atom kit, and
Yeah.
everyone's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
if he's cruising around in, you know, Sweden in 8000 BC, what he doesn't know what the hell is going on. He might have a chat with people. He might have a lot of context, being like, "Man, I've seen some shit, but I don't even know where I was." You know, like I was in some marshlands for a while. And how did because he's not immortal in the sense that
He's
he is, what's the word for, he could die.
yeah.
He just
Yeah.
lives forever. How
Just
do you not
doesn't age, I think is
doesn't
the
age? Yeah,
thing. Is what his thing is. And let's go into spoiler territory while we're here.
can we?
A
Yeah, all
little
right.
bit, a little bit, yeah. So
Spoiler alert.
yeah, here come the spoilers. Um he sort of talks about how he does this every 10 years. He moves house every 10 years because people start figuring out that he's not aging. That's his claim.
And he figures out the easiest way to deal with it is just to move on and
Bounce every 10
meet new
years,
friends. Yeah.
make new friends, all that sort of stuff. And I think he's sort of just been the professor of just shitloads of schools at this point, right? He's just been walking around university campuses for hundreds of
And of
years.
course, you're going to be a professor because you're so interested in, you've got a lot of context for first-hand experience. You would be so interested
Sure,
in all that stuff.
absolutely.
And what do you do when you've been around for 14,000 years? Like, you could be very good. You could be a good athlete, but athletics is only like a more recent thing. Right? I know we had the Olympics a while ago.
Yeah, but he could just do that because he's got time. So he could
Yeah.
spend 10, 20 years doing that as his
Imagine
focus.
a few thousand years of cardio.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's probably still he's peak physical condition, we'll call it.
He looks like a Cro-Magnon.
Yeah.
I don't even know what one look like, but yeah, he does. He's
I
got
think they would have
he's
done their
got
research.
features. Yeah, he's got some deep set features.
Yeah, he alludes to he sort of says, "Look, I've got you all in this room: an anthropologist, a biologist, a psychologist, a devout Christian, all that stuff. Right? Got all these people here." And he says, "So I've got the best people around me who can like refute this, and you're not, but it's a joke. But I had you. I had
I
you
did.
all,
Yeah,
kind
that's
of thing.
that's
I
right.
had you all, right?"
Because
He
they were
sort of
getting
does
very
that.
upset. They were getting
They
very
were getting
upset.
very
A
upset because he
couple of
started
them.
saying he was Jesus, because he was the inspiration for the Jesus character in the Bible.
And he didn't just start saying he was Jesus. They really had to tease it out of him. They said, "Oh, yeah, you've
Sure.
seen some things. Oh, were you anyone in history?" And he said, "Oh, don't really want to talk about it." They said, "Were you sort of like, kind of like 20 questions? Oh, were you a religious figure?" And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, really." And then they're like, "Oh, were you one of the disciples?" Shit like that.
And he sort of, yeah. And
And
then
then
they sort of go, "What was the Sermon on the Mount?" And he said, "Oh, do you want the whole version or do you want the true story, or which one do you want?" kind of thing.
because he says he started going east way back when, seeking a bit of enlightenment, and he
Yeah.
studied with Buddha.
with Buddha.
with Buddha.
Yeah,
And then he tried to take these Eastern teachings about, being a cool dude
be a
back to
cool
the
dude.
West,
Yep, let's go.
and they couldn't handle it. They
They
couldn't
didn't
handle
like
it.
it.
Well, his name's John, and he had this kind of, whole heap of bullshit about how John got twisted and turned and through all different interpretations, and different
True.
people ended up with Jesus. Which is, obviously they'd do something like that. And yeah, he says that his, the teachings and things like that he did were kind of warped, and that he was keeping it a bit simpler.
Yeah, he also said that he's not the son of God, never walked on water, never did a miracle kind of thing,
Mm.
just knew stuff and was
Which is great. I love
respectful.
that. I love that.
Essentially a teacher, which is his professorship. He's still teaching. You know what I mean? It was just, yeah, he was just a teacher the whole time. So that's
Mm.
sort of the idea. And they sort of leave it up to the audience, right, to an extent, when they say, look, believe him or don't believe him, don't give a shit. But then fucking the doctor, who's a really old man, hears him talk about the previous aliases he's had, and he starts rattling them off like John Oldie Man, blah blah.
Yeah, John Oldman, that's right. A
His name was
play
John
on old
Oldman, but he
man.
probably had different pseudonyms and stuff. So he names a guy, and the old man says, "You did not teach chemistry at this university or whatever." And he goes, "Dude, just calm down, all right? I'm your dad. Just fucking chill out, all right? Just fucking calm down, all right? It's cool. Your dad's immortal, all right? Don't worry about it." The dude freaks out, has a heart attack, and dies.
Wait, was he saying he was his dad?
Yes.
I thought I didn't even appreciate that. I thought he was saying that he taught his mum or something, and that
Nah,
when
man.
he was a kid, he knew him with a beard or something. Because
Nah.
wouldn't he be worried when he meets this guy, this old man, that he realizes that
He
he's
didn't
his
know.
dad?
He didn't know.
What do you mean he didn't know?
He didn't know. He was talking with his lady out the front of the cabin, probably
Yeah,
having a
yeah,
smoko.
yeah.
And the old man's walking out, and he's one of the guys who's like, "You got to stop doing this. This is bad. You're making these people really uncomfortable. This lady's questioning everything she's ever been, thought in her whole life. This sort of stuff." He's one of those guys. He's that guy in the room. And according to the trailer slash cover, I fell asleep during the movie. He pulls a gun at one point. What
He
happened
does.
then?
Yeah, yeah. He
What happened
pulls a gun.
then?
He sort of, I don't know, kind of just threatening him a little bit. Look, I
Okay,
didn't
we
even know
threatening.
he was that guy's dad. So, like,
So
don't ask
yeah,
me what he was doing
he
with the gun.
starts saying stuff like, "What was our dog's name?" And he goes like, "Fucking
Yeah, that's right.
Woofy" or some shit. And he's like, "Yes, it was Woofy." I mean, good guess. Could have been a good guess. And then he goes, "What was my mum's name?" or some shit. And he names his mum. And then he goes, "You taught chemistry," and then he has a heart attack and dies. And so he gets to see his son die, which is brutal. And then I think his lady friend asks him, "Is that the first time you've seen one of your sons die?" And he said, "Yeah." Or one of your children die. He said, "Yes."
Oh, if you say that, man, I'm
So they left it up to the audience to an extent, and then in the
mm-hmm.
last like 2 seconds, they go, "No, no, no, it's legit. Like he's an immortal."
I believed it. I believed it the whole time.
Yeah.
I was always a believer. I was upset that all his mates couldn't get their head around it. Now, if you told me you were Jesus and you were rattling off, I wouldn't say I would, swallow the whole story.
Mm.
But I would be open minded to it and be asking questions. I wouldn't hate you for it. I wouldn't be upset.
Well, I'm glad you've said that because there is something I've got to tell you, and that is I am Jesus.
Wow, you look a bit Jesus-y.
Yeah, no, that's not good enough. That's never going to pass the test. The good news is that you did your homework. Congratulations. That's so
Okay.
good, man. And the good news for you, dear listener, is if you haven't listened through all the spoilers, pretty sure that movie's on YouTube, so you can look it up. And
Is it?
yeah, and you probably could have done that as well. And here's the bad news. I got some bad news. There's
Oh
always
shit.
good news, bad news, right?
Hmm.
I was subjected to another movie by the
Oh
same
no, is this
person.
more homework?
By the same person.
What, same director or?
No, I was subjected to a movie from
Oh,
my brother,
oh
from my
no, he's
older
on
brother.
fire.
It's
What's wrong
another
with
one.
him?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, what's he done now?
I think you should watch this one as well.
Really, what's it called?
It's number 2.
What? There's a second
It's
one?
it's The Man from Earth Part 2.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. And it's on YouTube, so check it out. And
I had to really like grit my teeth to get through that one.
I know, and this is the story. Okay, I was subjected to the film. My brother was fully aware that I was both bored and fascinated at the same time. He knew that. I fell asleep. I woke up, went and did my thing. The next night, he said, "We're watching a movie." I said, "Great, another fucking shit movie, right?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, no, no, we're watching the second one."
Oh,
And I said, "Oh no, man, I'm not doing that." And he goes, "Here's what you need to know from the last one," because I fell asleep towards the end of the first one, so I didn't know the ending, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I knew pretty much everything else. And I believed him, like you. I sort of believed him,
yeah.
and I knew about the Jesus stuff. But I fell asleep, and he goes, "Here's all you need to know. He has packed up. He has left. He's left town. He's bounced. He's not sticking around." And everyone's questioning their sanity. And old mate, who was the doctor, was his dad. It was his son, and he died because he revealed it to him. And he goes, "Anyway, we're watching this one now," and we watched it. And look, I think you should watch it.
Yeah, I should. You're
Yeah, yeah,
recommending
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
You'll give
I'm
me
recommending it.
okay. All right, all right. Okay, I can't guarantee I'll watch it for next week, but that's all right.
Here's an interesting little point. At one point, they bring up Star Trek towards the end. Oh man, this sounds like a Star Trek episode of some shit.
Yeah,
It was. There's
really. Hmm.
that's written, an episode of Star Trek that's written by the guy who wrote this movie. He also wrote this Star Trek episode in which a very similar sort of
So it's just rolling out
old
the same
man.
story.
No, it's obviously like it's a it's an evolution of an idea that he
Hmm.
came up with already. So pretty cool.
He's just
I
got
love
one
because
idea and he just keeps
like you, I
doing it.
love the concept, right? I just love the concept. I love the concept of a man walking around for that long. What's he seen? What's he done?
Hey, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. I actually had a bit of a man from Earth moment this week. Actually,
Oh,
it was a woman from Earth,
oh
and
yeah,
she was claiming to be a Jehovah's Witness.
yes.
Jehovah's Witnesses have upped their game,
What do you mean she was claiming to be a Jehovah?
but you
That's
know, she just was.
yeah, but you're
Go
sort of
to
questioning.
jw.org.
Plug free plugs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on it.
Uh,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
privacy
whoa,
set.
whoa, 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 whoa.
They've got so much bullshit on here. It's
Okay,
actually nutty. So I went on about 3 days ago, and it was all this is all new content on the homepage. They have
this is
so
yeah,
much content. They were going on about I was just clicking around through things. I was just like,
yeah.
man, they've got answers for everything on here.
Holy shit, they do too.
I was just
That's
thinking we should
great.
just click on something. Just give the listeners just a taste of what's going on. Feel free to pick.
Well, there's
Um,
some obvious. Like, are you looking at the topic? Select a topic that interests you. Area.
I'm just reading the front page. I got what the Bible says about anxiety.
No, no, no. Scroll down.
Oh, and you got the topics. Yeah, peace and
So
happiness, faith in
look
God,
at these.
help for teenagers.
Marriage and family, science and the
Okay,
Bible.
Bible.
That'd be
Okay,
a good one.
science in the Bible or
Or
history in the
history
Bible.
in the
Okay,
Bible.
let's go science in the Bible.
Okay. You go
I
science
did.
in the Bible. I'm going to load history in the
Okay,
Bible, and we'll
all right. We'll
see
see what
which
we can
one
find.
pays dividends. Oh no,
Okay.
this is bad. This is just
Um.
lots of articles.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But I already actually now that I'm looking through, I did click on science and the Bible because I was reading this one about a mathematician explaining his faith.
Yeah, and what does that prove?
I just remember getting to a point and thinking that it was complete bullshit. He says, okay, so he says, does your faith conflict with your secular studies? Not at all. Blah blah blah. It goes on for that. He's in awe of the Creator's wisdom, and he says, "Give an example of that wisdom." And he says, "Consider reproduction. Some organisms, such as amoebas, don't have male and female counterparts. These single cell microbes simply make a copy of their genetic information and divide, a process called asexual reproduction." Correct. Most animals and plants, however, produce sexually, combining genetic information from male and female parents. Why is sexual reproduction remarkable? He says. Why would a system of reproduction in which one organism simply divides into two and has done this very well for who knows how long
Who
develop
knows?
into a system in which two things combine to form one?
Good point.
No, but for diversity, it's you get crazy diversity by combining genes from different lines. So you
Yeah,
get
but they're
genetic
saying,
diversity.
aren't
That's the
they
whole.
saying there? And I don't know if I'm just stepping into the role of devil's advocate here,
Yeah, do it.
unwittingly. But aren't they saying, isn't it amazing how things went from cell division to multicellular
It's not
organisms that
amazing
provide male
because
and
it,
female
it, it
parents?
provides a huge selective advantage. And that's how evolution works. Evolution is, I'm not saying that you can't survive as amoebas, but it's much slower. The mutations are much slower, and they're more susceptible to a change in conditions wiping them out. Whereas when you reproduce sexually, there's way more genetic diversity. It's like fundamental. It's really basic science. It's like you learn this in the first year of uni. And this guy's like, why would they do that? I'm like, you fucking idiot. Are you what is this guy even a scientist of? Dr. Gene Wang, I'm calling you out. Born in 1950 in Tanai, Taiwan, is a retired professor of mathematics. Yeah, don't talk about genetics, all right, when you're a professor of mathematics.
It's
Okay, he goes,
maths.
the mechanism required to take half the genetic information from the male and half from the female and combine them are immensely complex, of course. So wouldn't there be an advantage, a selective advantage to doing something really difficult like this?
Sure.
Presenting a huge problem to evolutionary biologists. In my view, gender based reproduction points unequivocally to the mind of God. This guy had lost all credibility. All credibility.
Yeah, it's the unequivocally bit.
Yeah, I couldn't even say it. I can't even say it, but
Is that the did he is that a word?
yeah, unequivocally.
But would it be
Unequivocally.
inequivocally?
I don't think so. Okay, what about this one? God's laws on hygiene were ahead of their time.
Okay.
Is this going to be a COVID thing? Oh, this is a
Hope
good
so.
one. Does the Bible teach that the earth is flat? What I'm saying is that what does the Bible say about dinosaurs? This is just a treasure trove. This is just within science and the Bible.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What have you got on your end?
I don't even know. It seems like you've got a better page than me. I've ended up on history and the a book you can trust, Greece in Bible history. Anyway, it's probably the problem is that we're talking about really old stuff.
We are. Do Jehovah's Witnesses believe in the Old Testament? That's actually a pretty good question. Yes.
Oh, it's just one word answers.
No.
Yes, we do.
Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the entire Bible is inspired of God and beneficial. That includes the Old Testament and the New Testament. And commonly called. See, that's
That's
the
where they'll
upsetting.
always. That's where they've always got you. By the way,
Why's that?
there's no disconnection from the Word of God and the Bible. So they're not going to come to the table and say, "Hey, look, we believe that the Bible was written by a bunch of dudes X at
Yeah.
this
Okay.
sort of time." They will always say it's the Word of God on pen and paper or page or printed out, printing press. And that's why it's really important, right? And if that's the case, if it was, I get that. I understand that.
Okay, I had something pop up, and when the page loaded properly, it's gone, and I'm sad. It's the faith in God section, and there was a hyperlink to that did appear on my page for a moment before it loaded properly that says, "Does God exist?" And I must know.
The problem is we're reading their PR stuff.
Okay, does
Um,
God exist? Here we go. The Bible's answer. I
whoa,
mean, I
whoa,
had this
whoa, whoa, whoa,
question
whoa,
in
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
test
whoa,
the
whoa,
other
whoa, whoa,
week.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Remember the test the other week?
Yeah, but this is the Bible's answer.
Yeah, I want the
This
Bible's
isn't
answer.
your answer.
No, I want the Bible's.
What does the Bible say?
Yes. The Bible provides compelling evidence that God exists. It encourages us to build faith in God, not by
Its mere
blindly.
existence, if you believe that it is the Word of God, proves God's existence.
It's a bit circular.
Sorry, but like, if that's a redundant question. If you believe that God wrote the Bible, essentially.
It encourages us to build faith in God, not by blindly believing religious
Hmm.
assertions, but by using our power of reason and mental
Whoa.
perception.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
I've got,
man, dude, you have to entertain the thought that maybe they're mentally perceiving things that you're not mentally perceiving, right?
oh, that's actually a good point. You know what? That could explain a lot of, yeah, people could actually be insane.
Not insane. That's not fair.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, sanity has to be objective, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So if you
yeah,
subjectively believe
yeah,
something and you say this is, yeah, that's true for you, but you're
yeah,
also insane.
yeah. But listen to these words. This is an article titled "Is the New World Translation Accurate?" Okay, is it
Hmm.
accurate? That's a good question, right?
Yeah,
Is it?
I've wondered.
Well, is it?
It's going to say yes. Well,
Point one: reliability. It's a dot point. The New World Translation is based on up to date scholarly research and the most reliable ancient manuscripts. In contrast, the King James Version of 1611 was based on manuscripts that were often less accurate and not as old as those used in producing the New World Translation. So,
revision, 27,000, the King James
sure,
Bible, yeah.
sure, sure, they've got another article saying why there's so many Bibles, which,
Hmm.
also would be worth a read. But if I read that and I'm a reasoning person.
Hmm.
I'm mentally. What do they say?
You're doing your best.
What did
You're
they
doing
say?
your best. They said by using our power of reason
I'm using my
and
powers of
mental
reason
perception. Use a
and
bit of mental
mental
perception.
perception. I'm
Yes.
using my mental perception and all that stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
reading that, and that looks pretty good to me, right?
Mm.
Said it's reliable. Said it's based on up to date manuscripts. In fact, we've got older ones than they use, which we use now. We got older ones, so I'm confused because they're like, no, we're using the latest scholarly research of the oldest shit. Anyway, so there we go. There you go. Producing the New World Translation. Right, this is it.
Mm. What's another dot point?
Faithfulness. Okay, it's a dot point. The New World Translation strives to convey faithfully the original message that was inspired by God,
I'm sure they
which
weren't. I'm
which
sure that
links.
the creators weren't having their own sort of influence on the wording and the interpretation.
So great. Like the many translations of the Bible sacrifice faithfulness to God's message in favor of following human traditions, for instance, by replacing God's personal name, Jehovah, with titles such as Lord or God. Okay. I'm trying to load this scripture. All
Oh, no,
scripture. This is Timothy 3:16. Okay, it's a cited scripture in this article, so I clicked on it.
I didn't know there was a book of Timothy.
So yeah, it's a pretty good one apparently. And this is a dot point for a sort of side point for the strives to convey faithfully the original message that was inspired by God, and they're referencing this to say that this is important because I've been trying to get this for a while. Where do they say that the Bible came from God, right? Here it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Timothy 3:16. It says all scripture is inspired of God and beneficial for teaching, for reproving, for settling things straight, for disciplining in righteousness. There you go. So
That's it. That's
yeah, no.
the
So what more do you need? That sums it up. That makes sense.
fucking
All
hell.
scripture. That's pretty all encompassing. Okay, great. All of it. There you go.
Oh, look,
And the
well, I've
last
got.
dot point, I'm going to go through it.
Yeah, please.
You're going to like this word, literalness.
Yes.
Okay. Unlike paraphrased translations, the New World Translation renders words literally, as long as doing so does not result in awkward wording or hide the thought of the original writings. Translations that paraphrase the Bible's original text may insert human opinions or omit important details. So what they're saying is that we're going to sort of like get a nice, like we're gonna make it sound good, but we're not going to alter the thought of the original writings. So they know the thought. So that's good.
Mm.
It's a good starting point.
Oh, I feel bad for the person who had to go through and do this. Although they would have loved it, wouldn't they? Of
But they're
course, they would have
using
been
their
frothing it.
reasoning and their mental, uh, what's it called?
Mental perception and power
Perception
of
to
reason.
read all this stuff and come up with this opinion. Isn't that a thing? Don't you think that's a thing?
I don't think it's a thing.
It's not a thing.
One of the dot points for does God exist is detailed prophecies in the Bible were written centuries ahead of time and came true exactly as predicted. The
Whoa.
accuracy and detail of those predictions strongly suggest that they came from a superhuman source. That
Whoa,
is
whoa,
the
whoa, 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 whoa. You can't brush over that. Is there a link for that one?
oh yeah, there is 2 Peter 1:21.
Say the thing again before you say the Peter thing. I need to hear that again.
Okay, detailed prophecies in the Bible were written
No. Just, yeah, go on. Yeah, please.
centuries ahead of time and came true exactly as predicted. The accuracy and detail of those predictions strongly suggest that they
Strongly
came
suggest.
from a superhuman source.
Right, we
2
got
Peter
superhuman sources because we got
1:21.
predictions.
And the
The
parable or
verse.
whatever, the
Yes,
verse, that's it.
verse.
For prophecy was at no time brought by man's will, but men spoke from God as they were moved by Holy Spirit.
Okay, so the Holy Spirit is predicting the future, Nostradamusing all over
Isn't
the
that just
place.
men?
Sort of, but it's inspired by God at that point,
This
isn't it?
is their logic is unreasonable.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Well, we don't have to worry about it too much longer. Did you know that? I'm just going to get this up right now before that. Oh, geez, we better get this up because we could be witnessing something pretty amazing. Oh my
What,
God.
live?
We've just ticked over 8 billion people.
Oh,
That was happening today or
today.
tomorrow,
Yeah, today.
estimated. And
Yeah.
on the worldometer,
Mm.
we're 31,000, 32,000 people over 8 bill. 8 bill.
8 bill.
8 bill. We've done it, guys.
Yeah, 8
We've
bill.
done it.
That's the big 8. And if my calculations are true, if nobody has children from now on, the human race would be extinct in about 80 years.
That's some good maths by you. Apparently, I was reading an ABC article on it today. So, well, it's hard. They were saying that it's likely to be around the most number of people ever. This 8 bill.
Didn't we talk about this before?
Yeah, the population crash that Elon has nightmares about.
So what do they think? That we're topping out?
We do, but I've seen different estimates from the UN.
Mm-hmm.
This article says that soon we'll hit a population decline that will never reverse. Yeah, they did say Tuesday was the UN's best estimate on when we'll reach 8 billion human beings. So that's come true. But yeah, fertility rates are plummeting across the globe. That's what we were covering in one of our previous episodes. Like and subscribe. So, and the idea is that we're all getting older, and then there's fewer people coming through that are actually able to work and support us frail, senile,
I know,
silly old people.
but we've solved this already.
What? AI?
Yeah, he just has to get his biggest fear right in there. So his second biggest
Robots.
fear
You
is
got
a
to bring on the
population crash.
robots.
His first biggest fear is a T-1000 style Terminator taking over. Skynet. But we're going to need Skynet just to take care of all the old people.
I've
Like
just
you
sent
and
you a
me.
link. Yeah. I've just sent you a link. Click on that one. It's in pictures in Discord.
Here's the question. Would you be comfortable in your advanced years being tended to and cared for by a robot?
I have to be. Yeah.
What do you mean you have to? You don't have to be comfortable with it.
No, I think I would be.
You're comfortable with it.
Surprisingly, yeah. Maybe not comfortable. I'd tolerate it. I'd allow it. If it wipes my ass for me and I can't do it, then I'm all about it.
It doesn't just do that, though. It provides you with companionship. It says hello to you in the morning. It makes you a coffee. It senses when you need to get something off your chest.
Sounds
It
pretty awesome.
knows you, but doesn't intrude. It's a friend, but not a friend.
That sounds very comforting, actually. You've really sold it to me. I feel a lot better about it now.
He won't kill you in your sleep.
But he'll kill me when I need to be killed.
Yes.
He'll sense it. He'll know that I'm having a bad time.
Yes.
Or he or she, or it.
Yeah. It will take care of you when the time comes.
Now that's creeping me out. But I would rather it takes care of me when it detects the time is right, because it will do it in a way where it will just slip something in my coffee. Right. Whereas it might detect that I've got irreversible cancer and I'm going to die a horrible, painful death. And it says, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the day that he's going to figure it out, because I know his schedule. He's got a doctor's appointment. He's going to figure it out. He's going to spiral out of control. He's not going to have a good time. I know him because I've lived with him for about 12 years now.
Yeah.
I know how he reacts to these things. He's got nothing left to live for. All his friends are dead. So he's got the doctor's appointment. When I make him his coffee, going to put a little bit of arsenic in it. He's just gonna slip into a coma, and I'll smother him with a pillow.
And then what? What's his plan after that? What does the robot do after that?
Oh, he inherits he's probably doctored the will.
Okay.
He inherits it, and he's living in the Bahamas with his own robots.
Oh my God.
Or maybe he can live on in my body somehow.
What?
I don't know how, but anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Have you clicked that article?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, go down to the graph, the population graph.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
From 10,000 BC to 21.
Yeah.
What this reminds me of is when you play a video game and you
Yeah.
crack the code
Yeah.
and you figure out how to beat the game.
Yeah.
And you know when you just start smashing it and you're just like, yeah, no, I figured it out. I know what to do. I just have to do this. What
you're saying is it took a long time for us to figure out the game.
Yeah. So the population graph goes from 10,000 BC to 2021. And it's around...
Actually, it's only going from 0 for me.
Oh, well, 0 is, it says at the top of the graph, it's 10,000 BC.
Okay, sure.
But that doesn't make any sense because you're right, it does say 0. Anyway, whatever, I think you're right. It is just 0. Let's just say it's BC. Oh, wait, 2,000. The bottom scale BC. Must be per...
No.
I don't know.
No.
Anyway, so world population at Jesus' birth, it reckons, was 230 mil.
232 mil.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
And we go through to, let's say, 1,000.
1,000 AD. Yep.
AD. It
had 100 million increase on the population.
Yes. Yep. 323 mil. So it's very flat compared to what we're about to deal with, right? Because that's 1,000 years. In 1,000 years, we've gone up 100 million.
And if it goes at the same scale, we're going to have 423 million in in 1,000 years' time.
But how many do we have
7
now?
billion.
8 billion.
Well, in 2000, I was trying to find it. It's around
Oh
6
yeah,
billion.
yeah, true. In 2000.
It's around 6
So
billion.
what I'm saying is this graph, and then if you go, we'll put the graph up, but at 1800 AD,
Yes.
it's 931 million, around that.
Yes.
So, relative to what it was in 1,000, it's like 3 times more. But then 200 years later, it is 8 times more than it was
Yeah,
in the
it's
last
a
200
it's a
years.
crazy graph.
It's exponential as anything.
But what's it going to do after this?
Okay, go down a little bit more. There's UN forecast for world population will grow to
Oh, I
$10
see it.
billion.
I see
$10
it.
billion. 10 billion people. And so they're saying around 2080, we're going to hit 10 bill, and it's flattening. It's flattening all the way.
Yeah, it's flattened.
And then it starts
Oh, it's going down.
decreasing.
Oh, it's
It
going
starts
down.
going down. But the problems are going to start coming through more because, the population is reversing. And they're saying it's irreversible once we hit that.
Amazing that they say that it's irreversible.
I don't really
There'll
know
be
why they
two
say that,
people.
because
There'll be
don't we
two
just
people
start?
left, and they're like, "Do you want to fuck?" And they're like, "Nah, not really. Don't worry about it." I'm not really into that.
So they
So
say that the UN's predictions say we'll have 9.7 bill at 2050, and we'll get to 10.4 bill in 2080s. And
okay,
it's set to plateau for a couple of decades before falling around the turn of the 22nd century. So we'll probably see that. We might see that happen. We might see population decline.
you and me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I reckon we could live to 100.
oh, you reckon we're gonna get the hundy off?
Well, we just keep getting older.
So
Science.
you
This is the
think
problem with medicine.
you think you're gonna get out at the peak, the
Yeah,
peak
I'm
of
riding that wave
human
all the way to the top.
civilization?
Now we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have problems before that.
Robots.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Um.
We won't even be living on this planet anymore at that point. We won't even be here. You and
Yeah,
me,
we'll be
that is. We won't
expanding.
be. We won't be there.
What on Earth? Or
No, we'll be on another planet.
I might live out my days on another planet.
Yes. Yes.
This one guy says that we have now reached child. We've now reached peak child. Dr. Charles Edwards
What
says there will
peak
never
child?
be more children alive on
Yeah.
the Earth as there is today.
There you go.
Fertility peaked in the 1950s when women were, on average, having 5 children each.
On average.
Average worldwide.
Average.
And that makes sense. My mum's from one of 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that's not unusual
No.
back then, and that was obviously just Aussie. And a few other little factoids. We talked about Africa. It's one of the fastest growing places on Earth right now. Just 8 countries are projected to be responsible for more than half the world's population increase by 2050.
Interesting. Okay. Yep.
8 countries of 208 or 220. How many countries are there in the world? Something like that.
200 and something. 80. 280.
I thought it was low 200s. But
Okay.
regardless, 8 of them are going to be responsible for half the world's population increase. One of them's India, which is set to overtake China as the most populous country in the world next year.
200 countries. There's 195.
Oh, wow. I've lost a few. Pakistan and the Philippines are also on that list of 8 countries. And the remaining 5 are all in Africa, being Nigeria, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo and Egypt.
Combo.
Africa is projected to have 38% of the world's population in 2100.
Amazing.
38%. Because their birth rates are still decent, but they're falling catastrophically as well, relative to what they have been.
Sure. It's all relative.
Pretty wild.
Interesting.
Um, and we're not doing our bit. We don't have any children.
We don't have any
We
children.
need to start. We need to start fucking people. We need to turn this around. We could single handedly. We need to do a who's that Mongolian guy? A Genghis Khan. We just need to start raping and pillaging.
That's not okay, though. You can't do that.
But the world depends on it.
The world doesn't depend on it.
With population decline.
You're yeah, but you're imagining that the Earth is here for your pleasures.
I'm doing it for the world.
The
I'm doing it
world
for the
doesn't
fate
want us, dude.
of.
The world doesn't want us. It'll shake us off like it'll just brush us off like a fly off the sandwich. Just brush us off. Doesn't give a shit. All right. And it doesn't owe us anything. We haven't been cool.
No, we haven't really done it any favors, have we? We haven't really worked with the Earth.
No. And it keeps watching our shuttles go off, and it's like, oh, so you guys are fucking leaving, huh?
Tomorrow.
Leaving.
Artemis 1's tomorrow.
Yeah, we're go. We're a go.
We're going. We're
Are
going.
we a go?
We're sending nothing up to,
We're flyby.
into
We're doing a
orbit.
flyby.
Is it even a flyby? Is this just an orbit?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I
this
think
is a
it's just getting
flyby.
the Orion module into space. And I think they're just testing that it's not going to
I thought
leak
it was a
or
full
something.
flyby and come home.
I think that's number 2. I don't know. I get
Oh man, we're
confused.
behind
Is this
schedule.
maybe it is a fly? It probably is a flyby.
No, maybe it's just maybe this whole schedule's out of whack.
Hold on. I had a little update on Artemis somewhere. Let me just pull that up. Okay, here we go. No, that's not very helpful. No, it's not very helpful. Anyway, I want to talk about China.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about China in space or China on Earth?
Well, we're always in space, aren't we?
Yeah. All right. Let's start. We were just touching on space. Do you want to know much about the Chinese space program?
Yeah, what are they up to? They're doing moon stuff, right?
Yeah, they're doing a bit actually. Let me just pull this up. Doing my very best Jamie impersonation. There's an article I was looking at that got me going, got my juices flowing. They've got a big rocket. They got a moon rocket that's a big one that's not flying till 2027. So something for the calendar again, but at least it's this decade.
Wow. Okay, so where's it going? Moonbound.
Moonbound, 90 meters tall. It weighs 210,000 kilograms, and it's capable of launching 27,000 kilograms into lunar transfer orbit.
Okay, so what's transfer orbit? Is that where you can go and get a ship off there and then go down, have a look?
I wonder if lunar transfer orbit that must be orbiting the moon, right? Or is it orbiting the Earth and you can prepare it to move from the moon to Earth? Yeah, it's called a Earth to Moon transfer orbit. So it says our current largest carrier rocket, the Long March 5. This is when it says our, this is a Chinese person saying it. Can launch 8.2 tons, so 8,200. This can launch 27,000.
Okay, yeah. We're taking stuff up there.
Well, they're taking stuff up there.
Yeah, you got to build shit
Into the Earth to Moon transfer orbit, and they reckon they need 27 tons to land on the moon. That's why they're going for this size, which is interesting because we landed on the moon in 69. We didn't need 27 tons to land on the moon. They seem to have it all their numbers wrong. They've cooked the books.
Well, the books were cooked from the beginning.
And it's funny, right? They're putting all their resources, unlimited resources that China has, into this, and they can't even get this thing up. It's only going to fly for the first time in 2027. But no, our space program in the 60s, no. We went from like, 63 to putting someone in space to just popping them right on the moon.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's
Like,
pretty,
if you told me, right, that all of the record players on Earth have been destroyed, but we're going to give it to our best scientist and he's going to build what they built
redo
before.
it. Yeah.
They're going to do it now, right? We don't have the book on how to do it, but we're going to do it. They'd do it.
They'll do it in about 15 seconds.
They'd do it. They'd do it really quickly. The best minds, right?
Yeah.
Are we? I know that it's very difficult to sign off on a safety thing saying we are safe to launch people to the moon and back if you'll be my baby. Yeah. It's a tough thing to get signed off, but they're doing it, right? So it's happening. And the difficulty is like it always surprised me. It's one of the things that like only gives. It's one of the few things that gives the moon landing conspiracy a bit of legs. Is that they go, oh, we don't have any of the telemetry data, and we don't have the tech to play it back anyway. So,
Yeah. And
like,
then
whoa, no one can build this shit anymore. No, we can't. We don't. It's lost technology.
yeah,
It's
it's a
30
lot. It
years
is. Yeah,
ago.
it's like we need to go back to analog. All this digital stuff is really complicating. It's really muddying the waters.
Yeah, they're going to be like ready to launch, and someone's Bluetooth headset isn't connecting properly, and they're like, oh, fucking call it off, then. No one gives a shit.
I think the original space shuttles were sort of Fred Flintstone kind of like pedal driven, where like
Yeah, they were.
they're all
Yeah, they were.
cycling and they have to
That
like
is
build
quite
up
well
enough
known.
momentum.
Yeah, that is
But
quite
that
well
was
known.
reliable, right? It was
Yeah, pedal your
reliable.
way to the moon.
Um, and then I didn't realize that China had a bit of a raw deal. China aren't really involved in the space, the ISS, the International Space Station.
I thought they were, weren't they?
Not really, right?
Ever.
So not really. So they've got their own space station.
Yeah.
May 2021, China launched Tianhe,
Yeah.
Tianhe. How do you pronounce that? Tianhe?
Yeah.
Tianhe, the first of the orbiting space station's 3 modules. The country aims to finish the station by the end of 2022. I don't know how that's going. Can you check? Oh, the space station is called Tiangong.
Tiangong.
Give me an update on that. So they reckon the end of 2022. And they want to keep Tiangong inhabited continuously by 3 astronauts for a decade.
Okay. It's fully crewed. His number is 6. There's currently 3 people living up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Apparently it means heavenly place.
Yeah, that's accurate. It was launched on 2021. They've sent up something twice in 2022. I'm guessing they're still building it up there. 2023, that's the next one. So it's the sort of the building blocks of the space station they've been sending up.
Apparently it's way smaller than the ISS with only 3 modules compared with the 16 of the ISS.
Yeah, it's a big sucker. You know, we were out for drinks when my brothers were in town, and it was Friday night, and I saw a low passing like star thing. And I was like, oh, there you go, ISS, everybody. And, there was a couple of nerds there. So they looked up and went, oh, yeah, that's cool. And so, one of the guys pulls out his
Good
phone
spot,
and he points
yeah.
it at it and he's like, yeah, that's the ISS. And it was confirmed.
Yeah.
But it stands out if you spot it. Like it's
incredible. Have you seen it before?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of times in the sky.
It's amazing. It's actually quite visible. Yeah, I used to. It lasts for about 6 months. When you sign up, you put your location in and it will just send you a message. Yeah, like
nice.
a warning about 12 hours before when there's going to be,
cool.
And it even takes into account the local weather. So if it's cloudy, it won't bother you with it.
That's great. That's cool.
Yeah, so like we mentioned just before, this is sort of touches on what you're talking about. So China expressed interest in joining the International Space Station partners, but the possibility was ended by a 2011 decree passed by US lawmakers, effectively banning NASA from coordinating directly with China or any Chinese-owned company. This
Wow.
means that direct collaboration between NASA and Chinese space stations is strictly prohibited, making the prospect of sending US astronauts to Tiangong or Chinese astronauts to the ISS impossible. I didn't
Interesting.
realize they were at loggerheads with space, but of course they are. This is the new space race, right? They're all trying to go to the moon again. This is the 60s all over again.
Here we go. I'm ready. Is it the whole 60s? Do we get Woodstock as well?
Well, we had Woodstock. Didn't they redo Woodstock?
Yeah, I'm talking about redoing. I'm talking like Space
A
Race, you
double
know?
redo. Yeah, yeah. What else is
Oh man,
60s?
that's all bad because there was some shit in the 60s too. Some bad stuff. So, okay, yeah, no, I don't want
There's always
all of the
bad stuff.
60s,
But yeah,
of course.
I didn't realize there was such a distinction between the space programs and that China was forced to do their own space station because they don't have one. They can't do any of the testing and whatnot.
Well, Russia is still involved with the ISS, right?
Yeah, but yeah, they are. They are.
Isn't that interesting?
But I mean, it's too hard. The collaborations,
Too hard. I
too
love
hard.
that. I love that. You got these like politicians just sitting in a room, just like it's too hard.
What you need
Don't
to do
do
is
it
just
now.
distinct. You just need to go look. Okay,
Too
the
hard.
space programs can just work on space. We're not going to introduce war. We're not going to complicate things with murder, death, invasions.
Murder sucks, am I right? Yeah, guys. It sucks. Rightio, it's too hard. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, but
Too hard.
it's a bit like if I meet a Russian during the course of my Tuesday, I'm not just going to spit on him because
No,
he's
of
not. He's
course
not.
not.
Of course not. Right? He's not responsible. It's not nothing to do with nothing to do with the conflict, and I have nothing to do with the conflict. So the people involved in space stuff presumably have nothing to do with the conflict.
They would have camaraderie amongst each other for being
Yeah, but
fellow astronauts.
you keep that to yourself.
No, for
That's like
being fellow
religion.
astronauts.
Oh
No,
yeah,
as
yeah,
in
yeah. Sorry,
with
sorry.
the American astronauts or the whatever.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave China alone. I want to keep. I want to keep poking it. But more terrestrial matters. Have you seen about 3 weeks ago? There was a guy called Hu Jintao. Jintao. Could you just get up just YouTube Hu Jintao removed from CCP meeting? Just
Oh, I saw it. I did see that.
yeah, it's about a minute and a half.
Yeah, I watched that.
Do you know
Very
the
interesting.
background or the context to that?
Yeah, so he's like one of like his bros, like Xi Jinping's bros. Um,
He was the last guy in the hot seat before Xi Jinping. He's the former general secretary of the Chinese Communist Party. Xi Jinping is the current incumbent re-elected general secretary of the Chinese Communist Party and has been for the last 10 years.
yes, yes, yes.
So 10
Yeah, I
years ago
did see.
he was the man.
And he was going, "Why am I being removed?" kind of thing. And they're like, "No, just come this way." But isn't all okay now? Isn't it all? What
Well, I
happened
don't
out of that?
Well, I don't know where he's gone, but apparently the removal, which was
Mm,
Xi's bodyguard and Xi's personal secretary, came over,
mm.
tapped him on the shoulder.
Said,
He
"Yeah,
was
we're
trying to look at
leaving."
some documents. He was like, "No, mate, you're done." He's sitting next to Xi, so this Hu
Yeah, yeah,
fellow,
yeah. It happens in front of
right next to him, and
everybody. It was like a power move, right?
it was a power move. That's what I think it was because it was done right when the foreign press was let into
Mm.
the National Congress hall.
But what's happened of it? Do we not know?
Well, no, no, I couldn't really figure out what's happened after it. But what's interesting as well is that incident wasn't broadcast in China. Whereas if it was a power move, you think you would be maybe he's broadcasting it elsewhere. I don't know. And this is the creepy thing I find is just the lockdown the Chinese government has with its media is they just instantly put a block on
Mm.
anything relating to who or whose son, this other political
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
they just put a block on it
yeah.
and they're just erased from media. They're erased from the internet in China. So if you try and post something that has that word in it, it just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's internet.
What control on a population, right? You can do something and just be like, yeah, no one's going to know anything about this. Just block that out.
Yeah. It sort of discourages you from looking even for forbidden information.
Well, I mean, what's the point? It
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
exist.
sure.
It's just I don't understand how that censorship works, but it's obviously very, very effective. And
But
so
it got a lot of coverage in the West when it gets no coverage in China.
it did get
You're
a lot
getting
of
zero coverage in China and shitloads of coverage in the US.
and apparently she's being very critical of the not the former regime because the same regime, but the former leaders of the
Sure,
CCP.
sure.
So, like you said, it is a bit of a power move. I think just I don't know why would you just remove him, but um, yeah, he recently with this is pretty well known, but removed there was a 2-term limit on the leader of being the general secretary of the Chinese Communist Party. It's 5-year terms, and so obviously she was coming up to the end of it. So um, he just removed that restriction,
Yes.
allowing him to be re-elected. And he's the first person in the country to serve more than, well, the last person to serve more than 2 terms was Chairman Mao.
Yep.
Hence the best Chairman Mao impersonation. He's him doing the best.
Yes, I see. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. Going for it. Bloody hell.
Well, that's all I have on China. Actually, I
Hmm.
think I've covered the main bases. Um, I came across something interesting from a obesity standpoint.
From
Hey,
an obesity standpoint,
I'll circle back to that. What happened to Rumble, Anthony Rumble Johnson?
what happened to Anthony Rumble Johnson?
What happened to him?
What happened to him?
Apparently, he died.
What?
I don't know what happened to him though. I
He's.
hear his unknown cause of death. 38 years old.
What are you talking about? I didn't know about that. That's brutal. You're
Um,
kidding.
no,
That's
well, I
that's the
don't
news.
know. That's what I heard. I thought you'd know. I thought you'd be right up on this.
I should be.
So he was a bit
Guys.
of a knockout artist, wasn't he? That's
No,
all
he
I
was a bit of a weight cut artist.
really. So what did he
Yeah.
cut down to?
So
Maybe he cut
he
too
would
hard.
walk around at like 215, yeah,
Hmm.
pounds that is,
Hmm.
and then he'd cut to 170.
What's that as a percentage? It's like a quarter.
I'll have to try and find like how much his actual weight cut was.
He's a big guy.
He's such a big guy, and he was going in against welterweights. He was like fighting children. Anyway,
But that
um,
weight cut's got to affect your performance as well.
absolutely, it's a trade off. But later in his career, he fought at higher weight classes so that he didn't have to cut as much, which was smart and probably should have been doing that a lot longer. But he is a
Mm.
big man
He's a big man.
already.
He's a big man.
I think he
Maybe
fought at
he was
light
too
heavy.
big. Maybe
That
this
should give
cutting
that should give you an example of how big he was. Is that he fought at light heavyweight and welterweight, which is mental.
when he should be fighting at heavyweight.
Oh, he did fight at heavyweight as well,
Oh, okay.
but for the majority of his career, more or less, 2006 to 2011, all welterweight fights.
Yeah. Okay.
Just the scariest welterweight to fight ever.
I haven't seen. I saw a couple of the highlights, but haven't really appreciated what's happened. Adesanya, was that a
He got
surprise?
teed up, right?
He did. Did you watch it?
Yeah. No, I didn't watch it.
Who's
I'm
the
out of the loop
guy?
a little bit.
Piera or something?
Yeah, Alex Pereira. I believe that
Pereira.
they fought in kickboxing previously, like they did.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
he must
yeah.
be a kickboxer. Because from what I saw, he just stood there and
Well, I
kickboxed
think
him,
that's how they were going to build that fight, as these guys are going to kick each other in the
which is
face.
unbelievable. I was like, "What are
Yeah,
you doing standing in front of this guy?" And then out kickboxing him. Like, what?
yeah, but that's like his only chance. Yeah,
But why doesn't Adesanya do something else then?
sure. But he
Mhm.
probably felt like it was his like
Yeah, he's like, "You're
he
not
had to
gonna."
do it this way or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, and so Alex Pereira now has a win over Israel Adesanya in kickboxing and in MMA.
okay.
There
Not
you
many
go.
people have beaten him in MMA, right?
Nobody,
Nobody.
nobody.
Nobody's beaten him in MMA. It
Oh,
was
okay.
pretty late as well. I
Yeah,
think it
and
was in the
Blankowitz
fifth.
when he
Fifth.
fought for the light heavyweight belt. So he did have a crack at the light heavyweight belt, a free hit, let's
Mm,
call it.
yeah,
He's the middleweight champion. They gave him a free hit at the light heavyweight belt, and he didn't get it.
too small.
And but no, he was 20-0 before he fight Yarn. That's wild.
Yeah, he went slow, didn't he? He took the right fights.
Nah, man, dude, his record is amazing. Kickboxing record, right?
Yeah.
75 wins, 5 losses. 75 wins, 5 losses. And I've just seen on the record, 2 of those
So
losses were to Alex Pereira. Two. Two.
wow. So this guy's like his bogey.
Yeah. 75 wins. That's a good percentage. Then the MMA record, 23-2. Very good. Very good. You don't get much better than that.
No, you don't do you? 23-2. Okay. That's some black caviar shit.
But he's still got, how old is he? He still has 10 years in the game if he wants it. So
Wait, Adesanya has another 10.
that would mean he has his last fight at 43, which is not unbelievable.
Isn't it? Did they fight into their 40s? When did DC fight till?
Well, Anderson Silva's 47, and he got
Yeah,
punched
but
out by Jake Paul a few weekends ago.
oh, did
And his
he?
last fight was in 2020. So he was 45 when he stopped fighting MMA.
Yeah, okay.
That's old.
Yeah, that is old. Fuck. That's man, my knees are like creaking just thinking about it.
Anderson Silva's like record used to be a web page that I could go to look at like his record, pre 2012 and just go, oh my God, he's amazing. He's killed everybody that they've put in front of him. And then after that, it's all bad.
I know. He's the
All
man.
bad.
I only saw the bad stuff. Do you know that? I only sort of got into it. I went to
It's
the
wild, man.
casino to
No.
watch him break his leg.
Yeah, brutal.
The second time? Wait. So what happened? So wait. Oh no. So I started getting into UFC. But I didn't even see it when he started fooling around
Yep.
with what's his name?
Doing all the googlies. Yep.
Yeah, pretending that he was stunned and
Rocked
whatever,
yeah.
and
And
then
then he got
get knocked
knocked
out.
the fuck out. Yeah. I remember
Right.
that.
And you were quite
Well,
sad. Your
I was
brother
very
was
sad.
quite sad. You're like, this is because he was the man. Because, like you're saying, you used to go on Wikipedia and just like, masturbate over his record.
Exactly.
Loved it. So I got a lot of joy from it. And then he
Yes.
he he fooled around with it too much. You didn't like
Fooled
that
around long enough. Yep.
long enough. Then
Yeah.
he comes back to
6
rematch.
months
What's his
later,
name? Right?
broken leg. Oh no, broken face. 6 months later, coming back. Here we go.
Did he have a broken face from the
No.
knockout?
But like, he got his face broken in the first fight. 6 months
Yes.
later, the rematch. It was going to be all over. Don't worry about it. He's got this covered.
He got a literal break, a
Yeah.
very bad one,
Yeah.
and he was
broke
never
his
the
leg.
same.
Yep.
Probably nothing to do with the leg, just probably more of a mental or I don't know, physical thing. Who knows? But that's when I came in and I started watching him. I was like, what were you guys losing your marbles over?
Yeah, you also famously got into UFC when Cain Velasquez started his slide as well,
Oh,
because he was dominant right up until you started watching him, and then he never fought again.
I picked him as my
Basically,
favorite fighter. I had to
yeah,
pick one, right?
he's
So I
been
started
let out on
barracking.
bail, $1 million
Oh,
bail from that.
so how
Whatever.
much jail time? I thought he got jail time.
No. So he's probably awaiting trial, right?
Oh,
And he's been approved for bail for $1 million bash.
because he pulled a gun, right?
Yeah, he was shooting at a guy, and he hit the guy's dad, and I don't know if he died or not. But either way, you're not allowed to do that.
What are you doing angering Cain Velasquez?
Bad guy to do that too.
And he doesn't need weapons.
No, he is the weapon.
He is the weapon. He is one giant weapon, way more
Mm-hmm.
dangerous than. I'd rather be shot than to have him rubbing his armpits on my face mercilessly.
Mm. So he's going to he's going to be in house arrest until the conclusion of his trial. So he is going on trial for attempted murder.
Oh,
It's not good. It's bad.
he's murdered a few guys in the ring, but
Yeah, no, never with a gun.
yeah, that's why he needs to put the gun down and just go and
Yeah.
just do
The
a.
man who Velasquez allegedly intended to shoot, this guy, had been arrested prior to the shooting for allegedly committing child sexual abuse acts at a daycare center attended by one of Velasquez's young relatives. All right, so that's enough to bring the gun, apparently. He could have just bashed the fuck out of him, like we've talked about before. And even then, you're going to go to prison or whatever. You can't just beat people up, right? But it's better than attempted murder charges.
Yeah, because you pull the gun and all of a sudden, everyone has a
very
problem with
bad.
it. Yeah, it's very bad, very bad.
So your favorite fighter and my favorite fighter, the epic downfall. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of Lake Leschenoltia?
Have I heard of what?
Lake Leschenoltia.
Bless you.
I'd
Right.
never heard of it until recently because I went out there. It's 45 minutes east of Perth. I went there for Elks Bucks about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a beautiful lake. This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my swimming mates, or someone I know that does swimming, said that there was a event happening out at Lake Leschenoltia on the what day it would have been the Saturday. Oh no, Sunday. It was Sunday, 13th. And I need to do some open water swimming in lakes in my wetsuit. So I signed up to that bad boy. It was beautiful, stunning day, Sunday morning. They offered a 3.2K, which is a pretty decent size swimming compared to some of the other ones. 4 laps. They sort of set up some boys. Is it boys or buoys? What do you even call those things?
I call them boys.
I call them
Jeff
boys as well.
Jeff from Survivor calls them buoys.
Does he?
Yeah. You will swim out to the buoys and collect the jigsaw puzzles. Survivor's ready. Go. Sorry. That's a lot of survivor knowledge in my brain.
Drop your buffs.
Everybody drop your buffs. We are merged.
We are merged. You should just drop every time you can use one of those, please just drop it in.
How much did everyone love dropping their buffs?
Yeah, they all were all cheering, right? They loved it.
They
loved it. That was what the moment they looked forward to. Because was it symbolic in that they had
Drop
made it
your
that
buffs
far?
only meant we're merging, right? Because if we were just changing the teams, he'd be like, Harley and Jeremiah, drop your buffs. Oh, fuck.
So good. But Lake Leschenoltia.
Right. Sorry.
No. So, but every time I say boys,
Yeah.
I feel like the spelling is just all messed up, right?
Yeah,
Like
let's
it doesn't.
go with buoy then. Fuck it.
But then I don't want to say buoy. I just can't. So yeah. Anyway, the boys. Why spell it like that? Who made up that word? We need.
It's a dumb language, mate. It's a dumb language.
How do you even spell it?
It's B-O-U-Y.
B-U-O-Y.
No, B-O-U-Y, right?
It's B-U-O-Y.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Buoy. Yeah, that makes way more sense.
It's a floating device that can have many purposes. It can be anchored to. Okay, is there something about the language of it or the where it came from? The word buoyed can be used figuratively. For example, a person can be buoyed up someone's spirits by providing help and empathy.
Oh, so it's more of the flotation element of the buoy that's being talked about there.
Yeah.
So you can lift someone's spirits by attaching a buoy to their bad mood.
Hmm. But anyway, yeah. So I was swimming. The lake was nice. Nothing really. Oh, 24-year-old dies at Lake Leschenaultia. Bystanders tried to help, but he couldn't be revived. Oh, it's a WA Today drowning tragedy. A 24-year-old. What was that? Anyway, yeah. So I've got this thing in a few weeks. I'm going to miss an episode actually because
Okay,
I've got. Actually, I will be back on. I'll be back
we'll see how we go.
late on
Either way,
Monday.
what
Late
have
on
you
Monday.
got?
I'm doing a half Ironman in
Okay,
Taupo in New Zealand on the 11th of December, and that's why I'm swimming in lakes because Lake Taupo is stunning, and you need to. It's very cold apparently, um, and I needed practice swimming in a wetsuit in a non-salty body of water.
right.
Hence,
So you okay? Here we go then.
but where I'm going with this, and I just want to run it to ground now because this is a great opportunity just to like talk about shit. Obviously, what time are we on? 121. Lake Taupo was formed. I'm just going to the Wikipedia on this because my mate was telling me that it was formed by a ginormous volcanic eruption. So Lake Taupo itself is about, let's see if it's 46 kilometers long, 33 kilometers wide. It's like they say it's the second largest natural body of water in Oceania or something like that. Like I
Sure.
think including I guess Malaysia and stuff like that. They're not going to have huge bodies of water, but I think the largest one's in PNG. But
Okay.
I'm just trying to find formation. Okay, it's a caldera created mainly by a supervolcanic eruption. Okay, so it occurred 25,000 years ago. I thought there was one more recent than that. My mate was telling me that there was something went off there around. I thought it was like around 2,000 years ago. But anyway, um, okay, so supervolcanic eruption, which occurred approximately 25,000 years ago. According to geological records, the volcano has erupted 29 times in the past 30,000 years. So, when they're left with these, like a caldera, is the thing goes, that the volcano goes up. It
Mm.
doesn't just like emit some lava because that's going to create more rock. When it goes, it blows a crater in the
Mm.
in the landscape.
Yeah, like that island. Amazing.
What island?
The island that disappeared.
Oh, what like uh
Hunga Tonga.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was a volcanic eruption and you can look at the before and after photo of the island, and this is fascinating. We've talked about it before, but the island was only formed
Oh,
about 10 years ago, and it's
yeah.
already gone.
Okay, okay. That's right. Let me just wait. Keep that up. Get me some information on that. But
Mm.
this is why I knew I had to look at this. This was the world's largest known eruption over the last 70,000 years, ejecting 1,170 cubic kilometers of material.
Sounds like a lot.
A cubic meter is huge. A cubic kilometer, I can't even imagine what a cubic kilometer is. That's like, a kilometer by a kilometer and up a kilometer.
Yeah, and if you look at the satellite images for plumes of volcanoes and stuff, it's a lot. There's a lot going on there. The
Um,
energy released by the eruption is estimated to have been 61 megatons, more powerful than the largest nuclear bomb ever detonated.
just a naturally occurring thing.
Yeah.
How amazing. I just
Yeah.
I just love the idea of this huge lake was the scene of the
Yeah.
world's largest known eruption over the last 70,000 years. And I'm just swimming around in this. Apparently it's so pretty. And they've got these Maori rock carvings,
Mm,
only accessible by boat as well, that look amazing, 10-meter high.
amazing.
I'm probably not going to check those out, but
Just swim.
swim there.
Yeah, swim it.
Because actually, I think they're not far from Taupo itself.
Mm.
Taupo's the town. But I'll recruit. I'll try and ask as many questions as I can because I'm fascinated. There's not really much on Wikipedia about it. It's only the largest known eruption in 70,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you scroll down to like half, keep going. It's like near the bottom. On the December 2021, January 2022 eruption, you can
Yeah.
see a satellite image of the initial ash plume and
Oh my
shockwave.
god. Yeah.
And there's your nuke.
Oh, it's amazing. Doesn't look like there's anything there before it.
Well, it's a very small island.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, I think it's 2 islands, and then it became. Yeah.
How big was it before? Oh, okay.
This
View
is the
from the
thing.
summit of Hungatonga in June 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Looks pretty
yeah.
cool. Looks amazing. And now it's gone.
Some of it. You have to go. You have to get Hungatonga before and after,
Okay,
and that
where
won't
is
be
this as
there
well? Where is this exactly?
because
Tonga.
it'll be different.
Hey, we should go somewhere. We should pick
Do a traveling special. Yeah.
traveling special. But as in we should like go to see the Easter Island heads or something.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one.
Or let's just go straight for Egypt.
Just go to the mystery tours. Yeah, yeah. Let's go for a mystery tour. Spin the globe up.
Now you want to pick a place. You want to just end up in,
That's a
Europe.
thing. No, it's fascinating though, because like I said, that island was pretty new.
Yeah, well, I suppose if it's an active, volcanic area, it's just going to keep churning out material, isn't it? And presumably just get bigger, and unless they have a big eruption like that, just sort of
Hmm.
clears it all out.
Yeah.
The last thing that certain things pique my interest, and then
Yeah.
I'll like take a little mental note. Is an article about protein hunger driving overeating and obesity, and you don't suffer from any obesity issues at all. In fact, you probably need some obesity issues.
Yeah, yeah. A couple. Give
You
me
should
one or
overeat
two.
once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's a study that says, but I'm actually serious about obesity though. It's a real problem. Like the
Sure.
lifestyle, it's a huge problem. Like the amount of people that are probably a bit bigger than they should be, to say the least, is like a bit worrying. And you're wondering, it's got to be a lifestyle thing, right? This
Maybe.
obesity epidemic, if I want to call it that, something. It's lifestyle. It's probably a combination of factors.
Of course it is.
There's a lot going on. It's complex, but this was pretty interesting. So it's a study that provides additional evidence that the consumption of ultra processed foods is driving the obesity epidemic, causing people to overeat in response to the body's strong appetite for protein. Essentially, what it is your body has this thing where it needs a certain amount of protein. It's got this protein hunger. And when you eat highly processed foods, they don't actually have high protein content. So you
So your
eat
body's like, need more,
your
send
body,
it,
yeah, and then you just keep filling
because
up
you're
on this
trying to
garbage,
satisfy.
trying to satisfy this protein hunger.
Sure.
Which has been this theory has been around for a while, but this was a study that was done in Australia of 9,300 people, and it really. So I'll just read a couple bits from the article, sort of a couple of quotes. Humans, like many other species, have strong appetite for protein than for the main energy providing nutrients of fats and carbohydrates. That means that if the protein in our diet is diluted with fats and carbohydrates, we will eat more energy to get the protein that our bodies crave. That's, I guess, a long way of saying what we were just saying.
Mm.
What it did though is that one thing is that people that ate a protein dense breakfast were far more likely to, I'll just read this. Those who consumed lower amounts of protein. Wow. Those who consumed lower amounts of protein in their first meal of the day went on to increase their overall food intake in subsequent meals. Yeah, of course. Okay. Whereas those who received the recommended amount of protein did not, and in fact declined their food intake throughout the day. So the idea is
Interesting.
you got to go hard on protein in the morning, fill
Let the body
yourself
know
up.
it's not going to die today.
Yep. And
Let
then
the body know it's all right.
and you're less likely to snack and kind of crave, um, yeah, trying to satisfy yourself with other food.
There you
It
go.
goes on to, there's more stuff in it. That's the gist
But
of
we're
it.
doing tips now, so it's
So
just another
get some
feather in the
eggs
bat.
in the morning. Get some eggs in.
Get an egg in.
Get a couple of eggs. I'm into the hard boiled eggs at the moment.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, I'm really into them. I didn't think I liked hard boiled eggs very much, but what you do
Going for it,
is, so I was just hard boiling some eggs before I jumped on.
Mom. Here we go.
You you do a couple of hard boiled eggs. You get
Yep.
some green pesto, basil pesto. You
Grab it.
get to work, right? I ride into work, not every day, but I did today, and I'll do it tomorrow. You ride in, you
Yep.
get to work. You get there early. Just because I get there early anyway. But it's nicer because there's less people on, there's less traffic.
Is everyone
There's
writing this shit down?
and then you pop some toast on.
Okay, toast is going on. You got the egg somewhere?
Yeah, the eggs are pre-peeled. So you bring them in a little Tupperware container,
Here we
pre-peeled.
fucking go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you bash the pesto, smash
Yep.
that on the toast. You don't heat up the eggs. Don't worry about that. If you want to be fancy, you can put some avo or some tomato on there. Pre-cut all that shit, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's not going to like slow you down when you're trying to make your
Bloody hell.
breakfast. And then you just carve that bloody egg right on top, and you don't heat anything up. The toast carries enough residual heat. It feels like you're eating a big breakfast.
Holy shit.
I feel like I'm at a restaurant, and it takes me about 5 minutes
You just close your eyes and,
from
pretend you're in
popping the
the
toast
restaurant.
on to eating my restaurant quality breakfast.
It's pretty good, man.
It's 5 minutes.
A bit of prep. Come on, don't lie. Bit of
Yeah,
prep. Get the avo ready. Get the pesto ready.
you do have to do some food prep each night.
Peel the eggs.
Peel the eggs. And I've got another tip since we're going there.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, go on.
Someone told me
Yeah.
incorrectly
Yeah.
to do a good hard boiled egg, you
Yeah.
put the eggs in with the
Yeah.
water cold, and then you heat it up to temperature. And once it starts boiling, then you do your 7 minutes to get like a medium hard boiled egg or whatever.
Right. And that's
Okay.
wrong, is it?
Completely wrong.
Don't write that
because-
down.
Don't write that down.
Scrub it out.
Forget everything.
Yeah.
But the reason being is the egg, for some reason, because it slowly cooks from, it's like the frog
from
in.
the temperature of 0 onwards.
It
room
sticks
temperature.
for some reason it sticks to its own shell, and then when you're trying to get it off, you only get a tiny little bit of shell off each time, and it's so brutally painful, and you'll never want to cook another hard-boiled egg in your life. You won't even want to look at one.
Look, but don't write any of that down.
Don't do that.
So what are we doing instead?
You boil that water. This
Get
is
the
probably
boil- get
probably
the
everyone
water
knows
boiled
this, but
already.
if you haven't hard-boiled an egg, it is critical to boil
Critical.
the water first. You
Yep.
pop them straight into boiling water, and the egg, when it starts cooking immediately because of the heat, and it
Yes.
comes, it sort of must come away or something. It doesn't stick to the shell. And then when you go to peel it, it comes off in like huge, 20-cent piece kind of bits of shell.
Great tips.
Yeah.
They are great tips.
Because if you cook an egg wrong, if you
I'm
hard-boil an egg
not
wrong,
cooking eggs wrong.
but if you do it wrong,
Yeah.
you'll never want to look at an egg. That's all I'm saying.
Look,
And-
I think
and
the
you-
moral of the story is be careful of false tips and boil the water first.
Yeah, in
7
summary.
minutes?
Yeah. 7
7
minutes for
minutes?
a medium. Yeah. Medium hard
Yeah,
work.
that's pretty good, man.
Yep. As
I'm gonna do my
always,
homework. Are you gonna do your homework?
yes, Man from Earth 2.
You're going for it.
I might. Maybe not. I'll try.
It's on YouTube, I think.
Okay.
Hey, I can tell you what my
What's
brother
up?
told me before he put it on.
Yeah? Yeah, insight?
It's better than the first one.
Okay. I believe that. The first one was pretty shit.
Hey, yeah, no, good one. Hey, if you're feeling in an immortal vibe, if that's a thing,
Yeah.
if you're getting into the immortal thing, you're like, fuck, I want some more movies about immortal people, right? Too many stories about people who can die, yeah? Check out Highlander 1 through 6, or whatever the
1
fuck they're
through
up to.
6. There's 6
No,
of them.
just number one. Just
Don't...
watch number one. It's great.
Okay. All right. I'll
Christopher
try.
Lambert.
Lambo.
Christopher Lambert. He played Raiden in Mortal Kombat, if you watch that movie.
I'm sure I did.
Hit us up on the email. I haven't checked. Should I check?
I'll give it a quick check. If you're here now, it's time to subscribe. I want a platoon. How many people are in a platoon?
I think at least 6.
Oh, I thought there'd be like 60 or something.
Oh, okay,
Well,
60.
I want a couple of platoons then, or whatever.
Okay,
I
you
want a
multiple
squadron.
platoons.
I want a squadron of people.
Yeah.
A unit.
We have an email.
Is it real?
Someone has emailed us in and said, "Great app, fellas. Keep it up. Think I'll go try that test thing and see what horoscope it gives me." Yeah, good point.
What's their name?
Thanks, Damien. Cheers for the email.
I know Damien.
It's the Damien.
Man, that
We
test
got
one,
an
I
email
listened to a
though.
bit of it. That test one
Thanks for
was
the email.
awful.
Good on you.
The test, when I was listening back, takes us 5 minutes to even start. It's brutal to listen to.
Yeah, no, but like it's you can't rush the inner truths.
Hey, when it said that, did you realize the
was taking
last
into
letter of the
account
last
time.
5
Oh, yeah,
questions
sure.
spelt Satan?
Yeah.
I assumed that's so annoying. I assumed that it was. I don't know. I assumed it was something else. I thought it was something. I can't remember what the questions were. Whether I didn't think it was. It's not impressive to spell Satan with the
No.
last letter
No.
of each of the questions.
But it would be impressive if you saw Satan.
Yes.
Like, not impressive, but telling.
Man, that would be terrifying. You know, people see God. You know, some people see. You know, they use their mental perceptions and their power of reason when they see God.
Experience Jesus. Yeah.
Could you imagine using the same perceptions and mental faculties to perceive the devil?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be pretty gnarly.
All right, that's some homework for you.
All right. Yeah. Hit like on the video.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
You're still here.
I will.
Are you still here?
Yeah.
All right, we are. We'll see you next time.